rooftop gardens and rainwater. You're thinking sustainable living during the apocalypse. Wrong. You're thinking like a hippie when you should be thinking like a survivor. This is why rooftop gardens rank dead last on our list. Sure, growing tomatoes on your roof sounds great until you realize you're basically ringing the dinner bell for every raider within 5 miles. Nothing says we have resources like a lush green garden visible from the street. Plus, hauling water and soil up to your roof while zombies are scratching at your door isn't exactly practical. The weight of wet soil can literally collapse your roof. Congrats, you got a water leak. And that rainwater collection system everyone raves about needs constant maintenance and filtration unless you want to die from dysentery before the zombies even get you. The setup is a nightmare during an actual apocalypse. You need gutters, barrels, filtration systems, and pipes, all while dodging zombies. Growing seasons mean you're waiting months for food while you could be fortifying actual defenses. That gravity-fed irrigation system sounds smart until pipes freeze or leak, flooding your attic. And here's the kicker. One hailstorm or freeze destroys everything you've worked for. But at least gardens give you something to eat. Emergency escape routes. Planning your escape before you even fight eat. That's some real confidence in your survival skills right there. This ranks second to last because if you're already planning to abandon ship, you've already lost. These secret tunnels everyone fantasizes about take years to dig properly without heavy machinery. You're not El Chapo with a cartel construction crew. Hidden doors behind bookshelves only work in movies. In reality, zombies and raiders will check everything when they're destroying the place. A rope ladder from your window is useless when 20 zombies are waiting at the bottom. Plus, maintaining multiple escape routes means multiple weak points in your defenses that enemies can exploit. The execution falls apart immediately. Tunnels need ventilation shafts that give away your position. They flood during rain, collapse without proper support, and become death traps if discovered. Your go bags get raided by family members for supplies during the siege. Those camouflaged exits become obvious when you use them regularly. And if your main defenses fail so badly you need to escape, you're probably already cooked anyway. You're spending resources on running away instead of standing your ground. Every hour digging a tunnel could be spent reinforcing walls. Every hidden door is a potential breach point. Oil silos, bunkers, and cave retreats. Just move to a bunker. Great advice if you're Mark Zuckerberg or happen to live next to an abandoned missile silo. For the other 99.9% of us, this is not happening. Finding an available bunker or silo that isn't already claimed by the military, government, or some prepper militia is going to be nearly impossible. These structures are KNON defensive positions. Everyone will fight for them. Caves have existed for millions of years. And you think nobody else thought of hiding there? Plus, most caves flood, have terrible air circulation, and are full of things that already want to kill you like bears, bats, and hypothermia. Industrial sites like oil silos are toxic nightmares, full of chemical residue. That concrete bunker needs massive renovation to be livable, IBS. We're talking ventilation, water, sewage, and power systems. Caves are naturally damp, promoting disease and respiratory infections. You're trading your house for a tomb, and here's the thing, nobody mentions all-o-sing. Single entrance means single exit. If zombies or raiders block it, you're literally buried alive. You've abandoned your home, your community, and any chance of rebuilding civilization. Living underground or in industrial ruins psychologically breaks people. No sunlight means vitamin D deficiency and depression. The isolation drives you insane faster than any zombie horde. Plus, you can't grow food, can't easily get water, and can't call for help. So this is at a very low spot on the list. But remember, some of the fortifications later on in the list are so insane, some billionaires might even steal them from me if they watch the video. But first, we need to look at anti-entry devices. Exterior anti-entry devices. Anti-climb paint and rotating spikes, AT. Because apparently zombies are professional rock climbers now. This stuff ranks low because it's basically putting a keep off grass sign in front of a zombie horde. Anti-climb paint stays slippery for about 2 weeks before dust, rain, blood, and zombie guts make it useless. Those fancy pricker strips and rotating spikes look intimidating until a determined raider throws a thick blanket over them. Zombies don't care about pain. They'll impale themselves on your spikes and create a flesh ladder for others. Electric fences need constant power, and one power failure means your expensive system becomes a regular, climbable fence. Plus, installing this stuff during an apocalypse means exposing yourself outside for hours. You're relying on minor inconveniences to stop determined attackers. These systems give false confidence while draining resources. Smart raiders see elaborate deterrence and know you have something worth protecting. Zombies pile against your barriers until sheer weight collapses them. You've spent time and money on systems that barely slow down a drunk teenager, let alone zombie hordes. Fancy deterrents are pointless without basics. Speaking of basics, the next one should be obvious, but somehow isn't. Stockpile emergency supplies. This is at number 12 because if you don't already have emergency supplies before the zombies show up, you're basically already dead. This isn't fortification, SAM, it's common sense. Everyone thinks they'll raid stores when disaster hits. New SF Flash. So does everyone else. Those MREs and water bottles you plan to grab are already gone. The pharmacy is looted before the first confirmed zombie even shows up. Your grand plan to live off the land dies when you realize you can't identify edible plants and hunting attracts zombies. Without stockpiles, you're forced to leave your fortified position constantly, exposing yourself to danger. The harsh truth about supplies hits hard. Food expires faster than you think, especially without refrigeration. Medications lose potency, batteries leak, and water containers develop leaks. You need 3 times more than you calculated because stress makes you consume more. Family members you didn't plan for show up at your door. That year, supply for 1 becomes a month for 5, and storing everything securely while maintaining access is nearly impossible. You're basically planning to starve slowly instead of dying quickly. Without rotation systems, half your supplies spoil before you need them. Stockpiles attract pests, which attract disease. The knowledge that supplies are finite creates paranoia and infighting. Plus, defending stockpiles becomes your entire existence instead of rebuilding society. Supplies mean nothing if you freeze to death. The next method is somehow even more boring. Roof and loft insulation. We're really scraping the barrel here. Insulation makes the list, because nothing says zombie defense like properly installed fiberglass batting. This ranks 11th because it's home improvement, not home defense. Insulation helps with temperature, sure, but zombies don't care if you're comfortable while they eat you. That triple glazing on windows means nothing when zombies smash through walls. Soundproofing is pointless when zombie moans are coming from inside your house. You're worried about heating bills during the apocalypse, while zombies are literally breaking down your door. The time spent installing insulation could be used building actual defenses. Insulation doesn't stop bullets, zombies, or raiders. The materials could be used for actual barricades. They will stop zombies easily by making them itchy for days. Just joking, but your perfectly climate-controlled house becomes a tomb when defenses fail. Plus, over-insulation traps moisture, creating mold that kills you slower than zombies but just as dead. At least insulation is inside your house. The next method basically announces your home. Blackout curtains. Hiding your light at night. RAGA. Revolutionary thinking that nobody in the history of warfare ever thought of before. This barely makes the top 10 because it's literally just hanging up thick fabric. Blackout curtains only work if everyone in your group maintains perfect light discipline forever. One kid with a flashlight, one person checking their phone, and your position is blown. Those thermal blocking curtains everyone recommends cost hundreds per window and still don't hide heat from professional thermal imaging. Plus, living in complete darkness psychologically destroys morale faster than you'd think. Can't even play cards without giving away your position. The reality is depressing. Complete darkness means stumbling around, injuring yourself on furniture. No natural light causes severe depression and vitamin D deficiency. You can't see zombies approaching until they're at your windows. Cooking, medical care, and repairs become nearly impossible in darkness. And here's the kicker. Curtains do nothing against the sound of generators, conversations, or that one guy who snores like a chainsaw. You're living like a mole person to avoid detection. The constant darkness drives people insane within weeks. Zero light means zero productivity after sunset. Your curtains become psychological prison walls. And when raiders come during daytime, your expensive blackout system means absolutely nothing. Curtains are useless compared to actual structural changes. The next method at least removes access points. Disable stairs, RPSE. Replace with ladders. Finally, something that actually slows zombies down. Destroying your stairs and using ladders ranks 9th because it works, but turns your life into an American Ninja Warrior course. Zombies can't climb ladders, MSA. This is actually true and useful. Removing stairs creates a genuine defensive advantage. Raiders have to climb one at a time, making them vulnerable. You control access to upper floors completely. But here's the thing, you also have to climb ladders every single time. Carrying supplies, injured people, or fighting while climbing is basically impossible. The implementation is a nightmare. Destroying stairs weakens your home structure. Congrats, you might collapse your own house. Rope ladders tangle, break, and are useless for carrying anything heavy. That fireman's pole for quick descent breaks ankles if you don't know how to use it. Children, elderly, and injured become trapped upstairs or downstairs permanently. And climbing ladders during a zombie attack is exactly as terrifying as it sounds. You've made your home barely livable to gain minor tactical advantage. Every supply run becomes an exhausting climb. Medical emergencies become death sentences when you can't quickly move injured people. The constant climbing exhausts everyone, reducing combat effectiveness. Plus, one fire and your ladder system becomes a death trap with no escape. At least ladder systems actually slow enemies. The next method is just common sense with fancy words. Barricade vulnerable points. Block the weak spots. Wow, revolutionary thinking. This ranks 8th not because it's bad, but because if you're just now thinking about barricading back doors and windows, you're already zombie food. Everyone becomes a barricade expert during apocalypse. Stack furniture against doors, sandbags at windows, whatever heavy objects you can find. But here's the reality. Your grandmother's china cabinet isn't stopping determined attackers. Those sandbags need thousands of pounds to be effective, and where are you getting sand during a zombie outbreak? Heavy furniture is single-use, DESF. Once pushed aside, it's useless. Plus, every barricade inside means you can't use that space for living. The execution exposes massive problems. Moving heavy furniture exhausts you before the real fight begins. Modular barricades require construction skills and materials you don't have. Your maze-like paths confuse you during emergencies. Quick-release brackets fail when you need them most, trapping you inside. And every interior barricade blocks your movement more than it blocks zombies who don't care about navigation. You're basically playing furniture Tetris while zombies advance. Barricades without reinforced structures just delay the inevitable. Your perfect obstacle course becomes a fire hazard. Family members constantly move barricades for convenience, destroying your system. Plus, impressive barricades signal to raiders that you have resources worth protecting. Interior barricades are band-aids on broken bones. The next method at least creates dedicated defensive positions. Create internal safe rooms. The panic room fantasy, because nothing says winning like hiding in a closet while zombies trash your house. This ranks 7th because it's actually useful, but only as a last resort. A proper safe room needs reinforced walls, separate ventilation, emergency supplies, and communication systems. That's a 50-0 renovation in normal times, impossible during apocalypse. Your converted bedroom with a bookshelf against the door isn't a safe room, it's a death trap. Steel doors mean nothing if walls are standard drywall. That secret exit everyone includes becomes another entry point for smart raiders. And sitting in a small room while zombies pound on doors is psychological torture. Building one during crisis is fantasy. Reinforcing walls requires removing drywall, installing steel plates, and rebuilding memification while zombies attack. Your ventilation system needs power and maintenance, or you suffocate. Emergency supplies in safe rooms get raided by family during non-emergencies. Communication gear requires power and someone listening on the other end. And here's the thing, safe rooms only work if you can get to them when attacked. You're admitting defeat before the fight starts. Safe rooms encourage hiding instead of fighting. Your family splits up during attacks, some trapped outside the safe room. The isolation and helplessness of hiding while your home is destroyed breaks people. Plus, you eventually have to leave the safe room, and guess what's waiting outside? At least safe rooms are defensive. The next method actually helps you see threats coming. Set up surveillance cameras. Now we're getting serious. Cameras rank 6th because knowing where zombies are beats guessing. But thinking cameras alone will save you is like thinking a smoke detector will put out fires. Modern security cameras are actually incredible. Night vision, motion detection, smartphone alerts. You can monitor every angle without exposing yourself. Early warning systems save lives by giving preparation time. But cameras need constant power, internet for cloud features, and maintenance. One EMP or power failure, and your expensive system becomes decorative. Plus, watching zombies surround your house on camera while being unable to stop them is nightmare fuel. The setup during apocalypse is nearly impossible. Installing cameras means ladder work outside while exposed. Running cables attracts attention and takes days. Battery backups last hours, maybe days, not months. Your smartphone is dead without cell towers. Local storage fills up quickly with constant motion from zombies. And here's the brutal truth. Cameras show you problems but don't solve them. You're watching your death in high definition. Seeing threats doesn't mean you can stop them. The constant surveillance duty exhausts your group mentally. Watching feeds becomes obsessive, paranoia-inducing behavior. Technical failures leave you blind after depending on cameras. Plus, the false confidence from total coverage makes you miss actual blind spots. Cameras are useful but passive. The next method at least actively deters threats. Motion-activated floodlights. Automatic lights that blind attackers. Finally, something that actually affects zombies. This ranks 5th because it's practical, effective, and doesn't require constant attention. Sudden bright lights disorient both zombies and humans. The startle effect buys precious seconds for response. Solar-powered LED options work without grid power. Variable brightness lets you adjust for different threats. But here's the catch. Lights make you a target too. Every activation announces someone's home. Zombies might not care about lights, but raiders use them to track your movements. And constant triggering from wind, animals, or zombies drains power reserves fast. installation has major issues. Mounting lights at various heights means extended time on ladders outside. Running wiring or installing solar panels exposes you for hours. Motion sensors need careful calibration, or they trigger constantly. Weather destroys electronics faster than manufacturers admit, and replacing bulbs or batteries during siege is basically suicide mission. You're running a lighthouse for every threat in the area. The constant flashing drives your group insane from sleep deprivation. Light discipline becomes impossible when floods activate randomly. Your night vision is destroyed every time lights trigger. Plus, determined attackers learn patterns and blind spots within days. Lights are helpful but not barriers. The next method actually creates physical obstacles. Establish perimeter barriers. Moats, ditches, and spikes. Going medieval ranks fourth because it actually works. Physical barriers that can't be turned off or run out of power are apocalypse gold. Deep ditches filled with stakes stop both zombies and vehicles. Water moats prevent direct approach and fire attacks. Multiple barrier layers create kill zones where you control engagement. Concrete-filled trenches last forever without maintenance. But digging ditches requires heavy machinery or weeks of backbreaking labor. Moats need water sources and become mosquito breeding grounds. Spikes need constant replacement as bodies pile up. And maintaining clear fields of fire means constant vegetation removal. The construction is brutal during crisis. Digging while defending is impossible. Heavy machinery attracts every zombie for miles. Hand digging takes months you don't have. Water features become contaminated with corpses immediately. Your beautiful moat becomes a disease-ridden corpse soup. Wooden spikes rot, metal rusts, and concrete cracks from weather. Bodies eventually fill ditches, creating flesh bridges. You've created a medieval fortress that requires medieval maintenance. Barriers work both ways. You're trapped inside too. Crossing your own defenses during supply runs risks injury. The permanent nature means no quick relocation if overwhelmed. Plus, impressive barriers attract organized raider groups who see valuable resources worth sieging. Barriers slow but don't stop threats. The next method creates actual walls. Build tall, impenetrable fences. Proper fencing ranks 3rd because it's the first line that actually stops zombies. 8 to 12 feet of chain link, concrete, or metal fencing changes everything. High fences physically prevent zombie entry. Anti-climb features stop most humans too. Single controlled gates funnel threats into kill zones. Quality fencing lasts decades with minimal maintenance. Psychological impact on raiders, seeing serious defenses. But fence materials cost thousands, even in normal times. Installation requires multiple people and specialized tools. Every foot of perimeter needs equal strength or it's worthless. And zombies piling against fences eventually topple them through sheer weight. Building during the apocalypse is dangerous. Fence posts need deep concrete foundations that take days to cure. Working outside the perimeter means constant zombie exposure. Transportation of materials attracts attention for miles. Professional installation is impossible. DIY means weak points. Chain link cuts easily, wood rots, and metal rusts. Plus, tall fences block your vision too, hiding approaching threats. You're building a prison where you're the inmate. Fences without backup defenses just delay breaches. Maintenance requires going outside the safe perimeter. Gates become single points of failure under concentrated attack. Plus, fences scream valuable resources inside to every passing raider group. Fences are essential, but not enough alone. The next method secures your most vulnerable points. Board up windows. Upgrade the material. Windows are death holes in your walls. Boarding them properly ranks 2nd because it's the difference between a defensible position and a glass house. Forget plywood, We're talking hurricane glass, steel shutters, or burglar bars. These materials resist zombies, bullets, and raiders. Proper window fortification maintains firing positions while blocking entry. Metal bars allow airflow without compromising security. Reinforced frames prevent entire window assemblies from being ripped out. But quality materials cost more than most people's cars. Installation requires professional tools and expertise. Every window needs equal protection, or it's pointless. The upgrade process is X-housing. Removing existing windows exposes massive holes in walls. Installing steel frames needs welding equipment and skills. Hurricane glass is special order with long lead times. Working on second-story windows means ladder exposure. Each window takes hours of loud work that attracts zombies, and once installed, you've permanently altered your home's appearance and value. You're living in a prison of your own making. Natural light disappears, causing depression and vitamin deficiency. Emergency exit routes are blocked by your own defenses. The psychological impact of living behind bars breaks people. Plus, obvious fortifications make you the prime target for organized raids. Windows are critical, but there's one more important fortification. Reinforce all doors. The #1 fortification because doors are where everything tries to enter. This isn't just adding deadbolts, it's a complete door system overhaul. Steel core doors resist everything short of explosives. Multiple deadbolts distribute force across entire frames. Reinforced frames prevent the whole assembly from failing. Door jamb armor protects hinges and strike plates from being kicked in. Anti-kick plates make battering nearly impossible. No glass means no weak points for entry. But solid doors cost $3,000 plus each in normal times. Professional installation is required for proper security. Every exterior door needs equal reinforcement, and the best door means nothing with weak frames or walls. Implementation is critical and difficult. Removing old doors leaves gaping holes during installation. Steel doors require reinforced frames that need major construction. Multiple locks mean multiple failure points if keys are lost. Heavy doors are difficult to open quickly during emergencies. Your fortress entrance becomes a bottleneck during evacuation. An obvious reinforcement tells raiders you have something worth protecting. You've created an impenetrable entrance that works both ways. The time spent on doors could fortify multiple other vulnerabilities. But here's the thing, doors are where control begins. Every other fortification means nothing if enemies walk through your front door. Reinforced doors buy time, force enemies to make noise, and create defensive positions. They're the foundation everything else builds on. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn every real-life zombie outbreak plan that could save you, like the real United States military's plan, click the video on the screen.